And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much?
Shabbat Shalom, giving all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Ruchahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation as always to the elect. And I wanted to go through the story, the parable of the rich man and Lazarus. And we understand that that ties to the very thing that is happening right now. As the scriptures say, Esau is the end of the world, okay? And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Meaning our kingdom will be followed by the destruction and downfall of Esau's kingdom. And that's right before our faces. We can see this kingdom is undergoing a rapid decline in morality. Okay, the monetary system has fallen. Everything about this system is going all the way left. And the Edomites, the Rothschilds, the rulers of this, the priesthood of this kingdom, you know, they thrive off of confusion and filth. But that very confusion and filth is going to be a witness against them, and is going to be a justified destruction that comes to it. All right, because within biblical prophecy, they only had a certain amount of time that they would be able to do their wickedness. Okay, and we understand as the hopeful elect that we had to go through this. We had to see the earth in this condition so that we can understand how disobedience was a no-no. All right, so we can understand the need and appreciate righteousness. And this is what we're coming into. We had to witness as the sons of God, the earth being controlled by the seed of Satan. And now we understand the need for obedience, which is why we're doing these videos. We're going out to the highways and the byways. We're offering our bodies up as a living sacrifice so we can be accepted back to the Most High through Yahweh Shai. All right. So I'm going to start here in Sirach, the 10th chapter, and I'll start at the 8th verse. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, and we understand that this society was built on unrighteous dealings, as the Edomite he's now parading himself as if he got this, righteously. And now they're being called out for how they got these riches. You know, they brag on the position that they're in. Okay, but the reason that they're in the position that they're in is because of unrighteous dealings. Injuries in riches got by deceit. Okay, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries and riches got by deceit. The kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right, and we understand in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, and that's what's happening. The kingdom is getting ready to be translated to the Israelites, the saints of the Most High, as it is written in Daniel, the 7th chapter. You see, in various places all over the Bible, lets you know that the kingdom of heaven that everybody is talking about, all right, first of all, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. But you have particular people who take this Bible and they talk about heaven, and, some say it's going to be in the sky. You have some who say it's going to be on the earth. But what does it entail? It entails the throne of David being established and the Israelites under the Messiah ruling the planet earth in 100% utter righteousness. You see, just as wickedness is being spread throughout the four corners of the earth under this devil's kingdom, as I was just reading, the U.S. is, putting pressure on these various countries to take off penalties for homosexuality. What kind of rulership is that? It's a wicked rulership. You have abortion clinics all over the world. All sorts of things that are destroying societies. Trash in the oceans. All of these various things, they're a result of the ruler. Okay. So we hasten this kingdom to fall and the kingdom of heaven to come, which when you read all of the prophets, this is the day that they were crying and hastening for, man. This is 2 Esdras chapter 6 and 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? You say, when is the kingdom coming? And Esdras asks these questions a lot. You know, he toiled with that in his mind. Why couldn't the kingdom of heaven come right away? You know, but the Lord have written a movie. And within the movie, you know, the Edomites had to rise to their power and fulfill that blessing that was given unto them by Isaac. And we're living within that blessing that was given unto them by Isaac. The fatness of the earth, living by the sword, the dew of heaven. They have control of the earth. Okay, when we get to that parable, they are the rich man. It says, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, okay, and they both were given blessings. Okay, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You see that? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, so as we go over to the parable in Luke, the 16th chapter, and we'll start at the 19th verse. And these are the words of Yahushua. And see, a lot of people don't understand. Yahushua spoke over people's heads. He spoke the same things that the prophets spoke. Okay, but he had his way of going about bringing it out. And you have to be in the spirit, or you have to have ears to hear and understand what he was saying. Okay, this is Luke chapter 16 and 19. There was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. Let's look at this word sumptuously, meaning he was eating. Okay, sumptuously. Lampros, it says splendidly, magnificently, of a sumptuous living. Okay, meaning you have it, you know, you have the resources. And we're not talking about these everyday Edomites that are popping up on YouTube screaming at us. They're just Edomites. They're just angry. The true ones who are living sumptuously every day are the elites of this society, the priesthood of this world. Okay, they are the rich man. And it says clothed in purple. Let's get Revelation 17 real quick. They were clothed in purple. And when we get Revelation 17, this is speaking of Babylon the Great, okay, the daughter of Babylon, that all of the prophets who spoke of this destruction that was going to come to this mystery Babylon, they weren't talking about ancient Babylon. They were speaking of this Babylon, okay? And Christians don't want to tap into these scriptures, but we do. So it said that rich man was arrayed in purple, okay? This is Revelation 17 and 4, and the woman, okay, because America is known as that whore. Babylon the Great is known as that whore. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color. Okay, and scarlet is a derivative of red. And the beast system, okay, is known as a scarlet colored dragon, a red dragon, showing you that it's linked to Esau, Edom. Okay, so the woman was arrayed in purple. Okay, and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of the abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Because America was used by the Most High, Babylon the Great, Esau, Edom, was used by the Most High to spread wickedness all throughout the earth, man. Wickedness would have to have its reign, and the Most High used you Edomites to do that, man. This is Jeremiah 51 and 7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. Okay, now what Babylon is Jeremiah speaking about in this chapter? He's speaking of mystery Babylon, the future Babylon. See, this letter was written by Jeremiah, sent to the captives at Babylon by the hand of Sariah. Okay, when they went to pay tribute to Nebuchadnezzar, Jeremiah sent Jeremiah 50, some of 49, 50, and 51 to the captives at Babylon, which ultimately are us. So when we read this letter, Jeremiah is speaking directly to this Babylon, which we are captive at. So Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad, and the nations are mad, which that's biblical prophecy as well. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. Okay, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every man into his own country. And that's all happening right now. Okay, but ancient Babylon did not fall suddenly or get destroyed by fire as the Babylon that's written in prophecy was to be destroyed. So this woman, as you read verse 5, and upon her forehead was written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. Okay, going back to the Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire was revived through America, the NATO, and the EU, which is the beast. You see, and she was drunken with the blood of the saints. They hate the Israelites. Okay, but the woman was arrayed in purple, going back to this rich man. Okay, Luke 16 and 19, and there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple. And according to prophecy, who is that daughter of Babylon linked to? Let's get Psalms 137 by the head of our church, under Yahushua, David. Okay, let's see what he had to say. This is Psalms 137 and 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof. This is a prophecy of what happened at the time when they helped the Babylonians to sack the temple. They said, race it. And they've been saying, race it, meaning take and kill this chosen seed so that we can stand in their place. O daughter of Babylon, this is how Esau, Edom is going to pay. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. So we are fighting for this day. Okay, King David said, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom, because at the time of King David, you have to remember, he had the Edomites under his foot when he sat on his throne. They were one of the main nations that he rejoiced in having in captivity. Okay, what do you think we're going to do when we get our power? We're going to rejoice in having them under our foot. And King David has said, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom. So how is the Lord going to remember the children of Edom in their works? Well, it's going to be through Babylon the Great. You see this beast system in which they've became the rich man through that system, man. Okay, there was a certain rich man who was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. And what does James, the 5th chapter, say? We'll just read a little bit of this. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. And this is just the beginning of your miseries, you Edomites. You're scratching and prying and crawling and clawing and trying to figure out a way to get out of your judgment, but it's not going to happen. Okay, the miseries are going to come upon you via prophecy, man. Okay, so that rich man is Esau, Edom, Babylon the Great in prophecy, man. Okay, in prophecy. But the Lord wrote this and spoke this in a parable, man. And there was a certain beggar, okay, named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of swords, man, swords. And that word Lazarus means helped of the Most High, man. He whom God helps. Now in the Hebrew, what is it? Isaiah. Okay, Izar, helped of the Most High, man. So who is the Most High gonna help, man? This is Isaiah or Psalms 115 and 9. O Israel, trust thou in Yahweh. He is their help and their shield. You see that? He is their help and their shield, man. And how is he going to do it? Via the priesthood, man. Giving us the insight in the latter days has helped us in giving us comfort, man. So Isaiah, Lazarus, okay, is the Israelites, okay, full of swords, man. As a matter of fact, I believe it's in Jeremiah 30 or Isaiah 1. Yeah, this is a good one. Isaiah 1 and 6, from the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises. That's the Israelites. And putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. And see, the ointment is this truth. And the sores represent all of the lies and the things that you've been through. All right, sin that are a result of sin and disobedience. Okay, so Lazarus laid at the gate. He was a beggar. And our people in this society, you know, we beg for crumbs off of Esau's plate, man. You know, tax returns. You know, we want him to build things in our communities to help us out. Okay, and all of these various things. But we beg for crumbs off of the table of that rich man within this system, because according to the curse, okay, Deuteronomy 28 and 43, it says, the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee, up above thee, very high, and thou shalt come down very low. So we've came down very, very low as a result of the curses, man. And they have went up very, very high. You have Chinese, Moabites on top of you, looking down on you. In your neighborhood with stores, they have communities, okay, where they support each other. Meanwhile, you're in your community, broken down, destroyed, going to them, getting poisoned, man. Okay. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail, man. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed. You see, and we have been destroyed, and that's those putrefying sores, man. Okay, so that beggar, Lazarus, Isaiah, okay, which was laid at his gate full of sores, is the Israelites, man. Okay, a result of the curses, man. So you have the rich man, Esau, and you have the beggar, Lazarus, Jacob. You see? And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. You see, the rich man has his table, and whatever crumbs fall off, you have Jake waiting and looking so that they can get a piece of the crumb, man. You see, the piece of the devil's pie, man. Okay, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And that's these different nations, man. Okay, that's these different nations licking the sores, basically benefit off of the ignorance of you Israelites, because they're wolves, right? And wolves, you know, they thrive off of the blood of other animals, man. They can live off of the blood of other animals, man. You see, and we have all of these wounds and sores because of sin, and these nations are getting stronger off of those wounds being open. But once we bring the truth to bind up those wounds, they get mad. They call you a terrorist. You see, what did Yahushua say? Dogs have compassed me. Okay, I believe that's in the Psalms 22 and 16. For dogs have compassed me. Okay, and this happened to Yahushua, but this is also happening to the nation of Israel, man. The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and my feet. And that happened to Yahushua, and that happened unto us as a nation as well, man. Okay, so the beggar, Lazarus, desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores, because remember, Lazarus was laying at the gate full of sores, man. Okay, and these nations love to see us Israelites in that destroyed state. That's how they get paid. That's how they get glory, by you Israelites being in a destroyed state, man. Okay, this is Revelation. Let's see, 11 and 9. And they of the people and kindred and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. They wouldn't tell us who we were. They've all came together to basically form a system that will keep you all the way down, man, from the education to the food that is sold unto you, okay, to your entertainment, all of that, okay? And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry. Why are they rejoicing? Because you're in a dead state, full of sores, okay? Begging, shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. Okay. And eventually the spirit of life would enter into us, which is happening right now. Okay. Let's think in the book of Lamentation. Okay. Let's see here. It speaks about how these let's see here. Let's get Lamentation. Yep. This is Lamentation 2:15. All that pass by clap their hands at thee, and they love to see us in this dead state. Okay, they clapping their hands at us. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, "Is this the city that man called a perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth?" So they love to promote you in a destroyed state, man. They love to show the Israelites in a destroyed state. They love to put it on the news and flaunt it all over the earth, man. Okay, and they shake their head and ugh, you know. The enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, "We have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we looked for. We have found, we have seen it." You see, and that's a result of the curses, man. Okay, so going back to Luke 16, it says, "And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate, the rich man's gate, full of sores, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs, these heathen, came and licked his sores." Okay. And a wolf is in the family of a dog. Okay. It says, "And it came to pass that the beggar died," you see, "and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried." Okay. So the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. Okay. Because when we receive the blessing, okay, what does the blessing entail? We're going to be caught up into the chariot and changed. Okay. Esau, his system and everything else is going to be destroyed, man. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. Because the promises were passed down from Melchizedek to Abraham, who tithed to Melchizedek. And as you read, Abraham received the blessing. Okay. He became the friend of the Most High. Isaac received the blessing. And who was the blessing given to from there? Jacob. Okay. And Esau had his blessing, but it was not the blessing of the kingdom of heaven. His blessing was for this world to be the rich man in this world. Okay. According to Daniel's vision in Daniel, the 7th chapter, Esau, Edom would be the fulfillment of that fourth beast. Okay. And that little horn that came from it would be Babylon the Great, in which they would have control of the whole earth, man. Okay. So it says, "And it came to pass that the beggar died," okay, "and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried." His kingdom was buried. Let's keep reading. "And in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom." Because we are going to go up to those chariots. We're going to be crowned, and we're going to eventually come down and enslave these heathen, as it is written in prophecy, man. Okay, now a lot of people say, well, this is proof that hell is real. What hell is this talking about, man? Because his heaven was our hell. Our heaven will be his hell. Let's get Isaiah the 5th chapter to show what this hell entails, man. Okay. It says, let's see here. Isaiah 5:13. "Therefore my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst." Verse 14. "Therefore hell hath enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure. Their glory and their multitude and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it." So the Israelites went from being a noble people unto hell, man, which is what? Captivity. The heathen nations ruling over us, our pomp being brought down, our rejoicing being taken away. Okay. "And the mean man shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled, man. Okay, but Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, shall be exalted in judgment, and God that is holy shall be sanctified in righteousness, man. So eventually the Lord will have mercy on us, but he brought hell upon us. That hell is what's coming to you Edomites. Okay, the enslaved are going to overcome the slave master, as it is written in Amos 9:13. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed, and the mountain shall drop sweet wine, and the hills shall melt. And I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and shall inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof, and they shall also make gardens and eat the fruit thereof. And I will plant them in their land, and they shall no more be pulled out of their land, which I have given them, saith the Lord thy God. You see that? So the plowman is gonna overtake the reaper, which is why the Lord says in verse 11, in that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom, and all of the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this. Okay, so when David had his tabernacle, what was the result of it? The heathen were under his foot. They were in captivity. Okay, and he bragged on that. When you read Psalms, the 60th chapter, he bragged on having the Moabites and the Philistines and the Edomites under his foot. You see, that is going to happen again. Our heaven will be your hell, you Edomites, man. The rich man in specific, because all of the heathen are going to catch hell, but none like you Edomites, man. And then eventually, as we always say, you Edomites will be obliterated off of the earth, and all of the heathen will just be in subject to our laws, man. You won't be able to witness the righteous rulership and the kingdom of heaven in its perfection with the Israelites rule. You're going to be chased out of the earth, you Edomites. All right. So our heaven will be their hell, just as their heaven was the hell for that beggar. You see? So in hell, he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, all right, and Lazarus in his bosom, meaning we're going to receive that blessing, man. Okay, the blessing of the kingdom of heaven, man, the blessing of receiving new bodies, the blessing of the law, statutes, and commandments being written in us, man, being beamed up and changed, all of that. Okay, these Edomites are going to be afar off looking at us in our perfection, man. Okay, in hell, they're going to be in hell, man. They're going to be being tormented. Okay, and what did he say? What did the rich man say? Because when we were begging at the gate, you know, he may have given us a few crumbs. He didn't really do anything for the benefit of healing you. Okay, so now that he's in hell, now that he's all right on a flip side of it, as you see in the title, trading places, changing places. That's what's getting ready to happen. You see, you Edomites are going to go down. You're going to go from hunk to punk. Okay. You're going to be in torments. You see, which is written in the Holy Scriptures. This is all prophetic. Let's get Psalms 149 and 5. I'll start at 4. For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. Let the saints be joyful in glory, and let them sing aloud on their beds, meaning in our rest. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and the punishments of the people. You see that? To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute the judgment written. This honor have all the saints. Praise ye the Lord. And this is in the Psalms, and this is speaking of salvation. You see, which salvation is going to come when the Israelites no longer have to deal with the flesh, no longer sin. That's true salvation, when death no longer has any reign over us. You see, you heathen are only in the position that you're in because of death. You see, because of the Israelites going off. You see? And the rich man, verse 24, Luke 16:24, and he cried and said, Father Abraham, because you have to remember, Esau came out of Isaac. Okay, so now he didn't give a damn about the promises, the righteousness when he was in his rulership. Now he wants to call Abraham his father. You see, have mercy on me and send Lazarus. See, now he's calling for us to have mercy on him. See, in this kingdom, you got Jake marching around the earth, begging for Esau, Edom to accept him, to be equal with them. But when we get in our kingdom, Esau is going to be begging Lazarus, that same beggar, that same poor man with all of those sores in his body that you didn't help to bind up. That same poor man, that same beggar, now you're begging him. You see, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water to cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. And that flame represents your captivity, man, because you heathen are going into captivity. Let's get Jeremiah 30. Okay. Jeremiah 30. And this is all parabolic and symbolic, man, for those who have ears. Let's see here. Let's see here. Jeremiah 30. I start at 10. Therefore, fear not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord. Neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity, which we've been scattered. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. For I am with thee, saith the Lord, to save thee, though I make a full end of the nations, whether they have been scattered. All of these governments are going to be put out. Yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. All right, and we went through that correction, and he's going to bring a remnant out into righteousness, man. It says, for thus saith Yahweh, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous. You see, we had those bruises and those wounds because we had to go through that correction period. There is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicines, man. All thy lovers have forgotten thee. All of these different philosophies and different nations you Israelites love to seek after and follow after, they're not pleading your cause, man. And it's to the point where you pleading your cause is now terroristic. You see, thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not, for I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy. We were wounded with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. You see, why criest thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable. The only way it's going to be cured is through Yahweh Shai, who's going to come with healing in his wings. You see that's what's symbolic of Abraham, okay, of the Israelites, Lazarus being in Abraham's bosom, because Yahweh Shai is going to come with healing in his wings. Okay, new bodies. Okay, the laws written in us, the new covenant. Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee. Okay, so we were wounded with the wound of an enemy, and we were begging at his gate, begging for crumbs to fall off his table. But he didn't heal up our wounds. He made money off of those wounds, man. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. They that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord, because they call thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. And that's the narrative within the system of Edomite supremacy, man, that we are no people. We ain't shit, man. Nobody gives a damn about us. But guess what? The spirit is upon us, and now we understand why what has happened, and we're hastening for the kingdom to come, man. So when we get in our kingdom, the rich man will be in hell. You see? The rich man will be in hell, man. He's going to be tormented. He's going to be asking, Lazarus, just dip just dip your finger in some water, and you know, because we're going to be in our glory. He's going to be crying for some sort of mercy, some sort of crumb from off of our table to fix his situation. You see? But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime hast received thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted and thou art tormented. See, remember, you got that blessing. Let's go to Genesis 27. Genesis 27. You see, Jacob received his blessing. Let's read. Let's start off with Esau's blessing, and we'll go up to Jacob's blessing. Let's see here. Genesis 27 and 39. Isaac his father answered him and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. So Esau at one point would have control of the earth, man. Okay, so to say Esau is done away with, when was this fulfilled? No, it's being fulfilled now through Babylon the Great, the NATO and the EU. They have control over the earth, man. They have riches out of this world. Trillions in money that you couldn't even put a number on. Gold. You see? And by thy sword shalt thou live. You see? And thou shalt serve thy brother. It's still that in there. And that happened under David. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of the mourning of my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. So he broke from under the dominion of David. Okay. And then at the time of the Renaissance, he broke from under the yoke of that dominion. And he's went absolutely crazy since that point, man. All right. Now, this is Esau's blessing. Let's go up to Jacob's blessing. Let's see here. Genesis 27 and 27. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him and said, See, the smell of my son is the smell of a field which the Lord have blessed. All right. And just imagine how the earth smelled back then, you know, because Esau is a man of the field. And, you know, the way that the story was written, Jacob supplanted, you know, Jacob with the advice from his mother, helped form a plan that he would get the blessing. But that's how the story was written. But it was written that way from the foundation of the earth. Jacob was meant to get the blessing. It says, Therefore God give thee the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine. See, we are going to get that in its fullness. Esau has this, but it's based upon the flesh. It's in a very artificial manner. You see, he's ruling the earth by carnal means, by the sword. You see, it says, Let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. See, this is the blessing of Jacob. You see, be the Lord over thy brethren and thy mother's sons. Let thy mother's sons, the Edomites, this is specifically speaking to Jacob, bow down to thee. You see that? Meaning the seed of the serpent, the seed of the Edomites will eventually bow to thee. You see that? Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. This is the blessing of Jacob. And Isaac reiterated that to Esau, as you hear right here. Let's see here. Hold up. Oh, yeah. Verse 37, Genesis 27 and 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord. And all his brethren have I given to him for servants. So he told him, Isaac told Esau, look, you going to serve him, bro. All right. But I got you. I'm going to give you this blessing. And see, that blessing was Jacob's hell, man. OK, because Esau hates Jacob. During his blessing, he would put holy hell upon Jacob, man. And that's what we're witnessing. So going back here, as Esau is crying, as the rich man is crying because of the hell that's being put on him, What did Abraham say? Abraham said, son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things. You received your blessing. This is your blessing. And likewise, Lazarus evil things, but now he is comforted and thou art tormented. You see, you're going to be tormented. You're going to have to go through that. And this is what you're crying and trying to scratch away from. You see, that's why you're throwing out this black Hebrew Israelite, these arguments, because that was a part and attached to your blessing. That's how you were able to parade yourself around the earth as the chosen people. All right, because we were put out. You see, the Lord turned his favor from us. And besides all this, betwixt us and you, there is a great gulf fixed. You have your blessing and we have our blessing, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that will come from this. We were not able to be a part of your blessing. You will not be able to be a part of our blessing. Okay. You are the nation of Edom. We are the nation of Israel. Okay. You have your part in the story. You cannot pass from that to us as you try to, say, well, we can be grafted in. No, the Israelites, the tabernacle of David, represent those Gentiles that will be grafted back in and rebuilt. Okay. You Edomites had your blessing and good. You can't say that the Lord was unfair. So Abraham has reminded you, look, you had your blessing. You see? Then he said, I pray thee, therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send him to my father's house. Now he's begging Jacob. Now he's begging Lazarus. You see, remember, Lazarus was a beggar when he was the rich man. Now we are the rich man. Now the places have been traded, but in a whole nother fashion, because we're going to rule with new bodies, chariots, spiritual powers. Okay. And it's going to be an everlasting kingdom, man. It says, for I have 5 brethren. And it's interesting that Esau, by, I believe, his first wife, had 5 children. It says, for I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest that they come also unto this place of torment. No, your whole nation is going to come into this place of torment. You didn't care about your actions when you gave away that birthright. You didn't care about your descendants when you were just being a demon all around the planet Earth. You never thought about the latter end of your actions. Let's get that in Isaiah 47. Now your actions are going to prove themselves to be detrimental to your seed, you demon. Let's see here. I'll start at 6. I was wroth with my people, Isaiah 47:6. This is speaking to the daughter of Babylon, the daughter of the Chaldeans, which are you Edomites, you witches, man. Okay, I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand, and thou didst show them no mercy. You didn't show us no mercy while you had the power, man. So why do you think we're going to show you any mercy? Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. And thou said, I shall be a lady forever. Okay, so that thou dost not lay these things to my heart, neither didst thou remember the latter end of it. You didn't think about the latter end of your actions, man, of having the Israelites in captivity. Therefore, now hear this, thou that art given unto pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, thou sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these 2 things shall come upon thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood, and they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and the great abundance of thine enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said, I am, and there is none else besides me. You see that? So verse 25, let's read that again. And Abraham says, son, remember thou in thy lifetime receivest thou good things? You see, you didn't think about this then. You didn't say, let us stop, you don't even apologize. You don't even want us to bring up what happened, what you did. In Lazarus evil things. Oh, man. Oh man. Now you want to look out for the benefit of your seed. Now you understand what you did and what it's going to lead to for your inheritance. For I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come to this place of torment. All of you Edomites are going into captivity. What did it say in Wisdom of Solomon about the Egyptian? Common and rich. Common and rich, man. Both common men and the master suffered. Wisdom of Solomon 18:11. The master and the servant were punished after one manner, and like as the king, so suffered the common person. So you Edomites are going to suffer, man. All of you. All of you niggas, man. Okay? Verse 28, for I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment. They're not going to hear the prophets. Here it is. We're prophesying, and you Edomites are laughing at us. You're scoffing at us. You're talking shit, trying to paint us as terrorists. You see? Abraham said unto him, they have Moses and the prophets. Let them hear them. Hey, there you go. You have Moses and the prophets. Hear them. You see, but the whole time you were in rulership, you didn't take heed to Moses and the prophets and the righteous ways, man. And he said, nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent. And Yahushua came from the dead. Okay, and you didn't listen. You see? And he said unto them, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead. You see, and they have the records of Yahushua raising from the dead, and look what they're still doing in their rulership. So you Edomites are done. Okay, there's no repentance for you. You're rejected. What does Hebrews the 12th chapter say? Hebrews 12 and it's 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For you know that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. So, hey, it's over for you Edomites, man. I just wanted to bring that out. Hopefully I'll edify. Shalom.